Okay, imagine this. You're building something, but it's so precise, so perfectly in tune with the universe, that its true secret only shows itself for a single minute just once a year. You've got no computers, no lasers, just stone, sunlight, and this incredible, deep understanding of time itself. Let's get into it.
So it all starts on the exact same day, at the exact same moment every single year, for just 60 seconds.
A single, focused beam of light cuts through the darkness of this ancient stone chamber. And with just breathtaking precision, it lands on one single, sacred spot. And then, poof, it's gone, just as quickly as it came.
So that brings us to the big question, the one we're going to tackle in this explainer. How on earth did builders, all those centuries ago, manage to basically control the sun?
To even begin to understand the how, you've got to appreciate the what. So let's take a closer look at this phenomenon. We're calling it the 1-minute miracle.
What we're looking at here, it's not just some old building. It's like a piece of celestial clockwork. It was built over 1,000 years ago, carved from these enormous stone blocks. And on one very specific morning each year, that beam of sunlight doesn't just wander in. No, it follows this incredibly precise path. It snakes past walls, through doorways, to light up one sacred symbol for exactly 60 seconds. This is not an accident. This is design at its most brilliant.
So you might be wondering, how are we so sure this wasn't just some crazy fluke? Well, that brings us right to our next part, where this ancient mystery slams right into modern tech. This is science meets stone.
When modern researchers first heard about this, they were, skeptical. To be honest, it sounds more like a legend than a scientific fact, right? So, to put it to the test, they brought out the big guns. We're talking lasers, 3D scanners, and astronomical software that's powerful enough to plan missions to Mars.
And this just lays out the puzzle perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the ancient builders. All we can guess they had were stone tools and maybe decades, even generations, of just patiently watching the sky. And on the other side, our modern researchers with satellites and lasers. So the big question is, who was more accurate?
The results were, they were just stunning. The scientists' super precise measurements showed that the margin of error in this 1,000-year-old temple was less than 1 millimeter. Get this, that is a tighter, more perfect alignment than a lot of modern skyscrapers achieve today. It wasn't just aligned, it was perfect.
And here's the crucial part. This wasn't just about lining up a window with the sunrise. Oh no. To pull this off, the builders had to have mastered some seriously complex astronomy. We're talking about Earth's axial tilt, the sun's seasonal drift across the sky. They even knew that the whole thing would only work at this one exact spot on the planet. If you move the temple just a few feet over, the magic would be lost forever.
So once you wrap your head around how they did it, the next question is obvious. Why? Why would you pour generations of effort into this one thing? Well, the answer seems to be that this temple wasn't just a calendar, it was a clock for power.
There are a couple of big theories here. First, it's about economics. The temple was basically a giant stone supercomputer for predicting seasons, controlling harvests, and running the whole economy. In a world like that, controlling food isn't just power, it's survival. The other idea is political. I mean, if you're a king and you've got a temple that can literally command the sun, well, that's the ultimate proof that you've got the gods on your side. When the heavens obey you, you can be sure the people will too.
But then, as history goes, the temple was abandoned. Empires crumbled, societies changed, and this incredible, intricate knowledge of the cosmos, it just vanished. The 1-minute alignment was totally forgotten for centuries. It became a secret kept only by silent stones. Until now.
And right here, this is where the story takes a wild turn, because it turns out that perfect 1-minute alignment, it's not permanent. The temple is actually a clock that's slowly winding down. This brings us to the fading alignment.
So why is it fading? The reason is this thing called axial precession. The easiest way to think about it is that the Earth isn't a perfectly stable spinning top. It's got this tiny, super slow wobble. And over thousands and thousands of years, that little wobble actually changes our view of the sun and the stars.
So, what does that wobble mean for our temple? Well, this timeline lays it out perfectly. Back when it was built, around 500 CE, calculations showed the light would have stayed on that spot for several minutes. But today, because of that planetary wobble, we happen to be living in the exact window of time where it lasts for precisely 1 minute. And looking forward, by the year 3500, the alignment will be gone. The light won't hit the mark at all.
But hold on, this opens up a totally mind-bending idea. What if the builders knew this was going to happen? Some researchers think they might have intentionally created an expiring message, a timestamp literally carved in stone, designed to be most perfect, most precise for a future generation to find. It's like they're yelling across the centuries, "We were here, we understood the universe, and pay attention, because this knowledge is fragile."
So a 1,000-year-old clock that's slowly dying, you better believe it has a pretty profound lesson for our world right now. Let's look at what might be its final and most important purpose. A message for today.
And this just puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? The people who built this temple measured patience in centuries. They were building things for generations they would never meet. They literally waited over 1,000 years for one perfect minute of light. And us? Today, our billionaires race the clock, our empires rise and fall in a decade, and we're constantly chasing fast money and fast tech. Our focus is so often on the next quarter, not the next millennium.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? If these ancient builders could achieve this kind of mastery, this kind of long-term vision, what other deep knowledge, what other ways of looking at the world have we maybe lost in our mad dash for progress?
And that leaves us with the temple's final, echoing question. It's a challenge that it poses to every single one of us right now. What are we building today that will still matter 1,000 years from now?